You're listening to the Junior Birdman Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Junior Birdman Podcast. I am your host, the Junior Birdman, always bringing you the information that's most compelling to you. And if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell for updates and make sure you share the channel with everyone so they can enjoy it as well. Today, we're joined by a good friend of mine, somebody who's been a software designer, developer for many, many years. She's been designing games. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with a lot of the games that she's created. And she always has some great insights when she's on the show. Soph, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Junior Birdman Podcast.
Gracias. I think it's wonderful to be here, Birdman.
All right. Well, thanks. What are you working on right now?
Well, I am working now on a game about a Colombian actress who is working to escape from the paparazzi.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Shooter type game or more like a simulation or strategy?
No, neither. It's a side-scrolling game, adventure game. Think like the Mario Brothers, but with much more yelling.
Okay, so more like an old school game.
Yes, it has a retro feel, a modern twist. Like I say, think more like the Mario Brothers meets Grand Theft Auto.
Well, what's the gameplay like for the game?
He's like a Mario Brothers with many levels where you have the obstacles, you have many enemies you have to shoot or overcome. But it's a little more open, a little more gameplay. You're in a big city, you have different characters. You have to use your wits, you have to use your abilities, you have to outsmart the paparazzi, you have to avoid getting caught, you have to complete missions, you have to move to advance the storyline.
Okay, sounds kind of unique. What are some of the obstacles the players face during the game?
Well, the obstacles you have to dodge the paparazzi cameras, you have to outsmart the TMZ reporters, you have to hide behind the objects in several places, you have a lot of traps, you have a lot of hazards, you have to avoid the mud portal, you have to avoid the spilled coffee, you have to open the manhole cover to go down levels. You have to avoid the banana peel. You don't want to trip on the banana peel. And you have to avoid the bosses. You can get into battles too with the bosses, with the paparazzi
Battles.
bosses. You can have battle with your celebrity rivals.
How many total levels will the game have? How many total?
The game has 10 levels. Each has a different setting. You have different objective for each. One, you have a very busy city with a Hollywood with red carpets and the award shows. One, you have to go to a variety show. Another, you have to avoid the paparazzi all the time. Another, you have to avoid the fashion show paparazzi. You have to avoid the obstacles and the traps. You have several enemies. I don't want to tell everything in the game because, yes.
Sounds fun. You said 10 levels?
See, 10 levels.
10 levels, okay. And you plan to have expansion packs probably, I imagine?
See, absolutely. We have plans with many expansion packs with no levels, no enemies, many no challenges. We have one expansion pack for some for international play. Maybe you can go to Paris or you can
Nice.
go to Tokyo. Maybe you go to Rio de Janeiro. Maybe
Wow.
another you want to play as the paparazzi. So many things coming, many things down the road for the game.
Okay, sounds very interesting. Sounds like you need a lot. How big is the team that you have working on this? I mean, to me, it sounds like you would need hundreds of people to make something like this.
No, I have back to 20 people in the game
20?
working on this game. I have designers, programmers, artists, a big group, very big group, lot of background experience, lot of different
that big.
internationalities, very good group.
So if somebody were to want a job like this, become a program developer, what are some of the kinds of things they knew? The languages, some other basic things they need to know coming into a job like this?
You need to know programming languages. You need to know
Like,
C++.
okay.
You need to know C Sharp. You
Sure.
need to know Java. In this game, you need to know these languages. Many of these are used in many games. You have to know the mechanics of these. You have to know how they interact in the game, knowing how to work with the game engine, with Unity. Now, Unreal Engine is very
Mm-hmm.
popular. You
Yep.
have to know how to create a professional level quality game.
So, do you have front end and back end developers on this project? Do you use full stack or do you use a mix of both? Or what's your.
Most of my team is full stack developer. They have some front end, some back end. Most are full stack. I do have some who are front end for the UX, design, server side programming, but most are full stack, well rounded, diverse skills. They have a lot of experience.
Can you explain to our audience just so they know what full stack, front end, back end, what the difference is?
See, for the front end, you do the design, you do the visual, you do the elements for the website, for the application,
UI
you
stuff,
do
right?
the things for the user interaction. So the user interaction directory, you need to know HTML, you need to know CSS, JavaScript, you need to know these. For the backend developer, you need more to know things behind the scenes for the website or the application. You need to know Java, or you need to know Python or Ruby or Ruby on Rails. You need to know server-side logic. You need to know how to work with a database. And when you are full stack, you know all of these. You know all the front end, you know the back end. You work with the client side, you work with the server side. You know everything about the website, about the application. You know everything from the one end to the other.
Okay. So the stuff the user sees, everything you and I or the people would see out there is stuff that's made by the front end developers mostly, right?
See, for the visual elements, for what the user will see, everything they see, that's the front end. They use HTML, they use CSS, they use JavaScript, they make the layout, they make the style, they make the interactivity for maybe the website or the application. They do everything for the design. Everything you will see up in the front is what the front end is doing. Yes.
I was always curious about who makes the decisions about things like what are the obstacles going to look like? What are the characters going to look like? What's it going to look like when we finish this level? What are the clothes this character? Everything, all the things inside the game and all the look and feel of the game. Who's in charge of all of that?
The leader of the game, that's me.
Okay.
The team work together to make many decisions. I am the final decision, though. I make the final decision. We look together. I have to make sure the feel is good, the look is good, the competition is good. I have several criteria. I have to leave for the bosses. I have to work well as well. We work together, though, together as a team, collaborate. We want it to look good. We care about the aesthetics. We care about how will the game interact with the player. We care about what the design process will be. We discuss this. We have very deep discussions about the experience for the player. We use a lot of feedback from people in the process. We talk to many of the development team members. We try to make sure we are building something for the audience.
Do you ever have situations where you have to scrap a project because the game is just not going well and it's just not going to work and you realize, forget it?
See, yes, many times maybe you have to scrap the project even though you don't want to, maybe because of a technical reason, or maybe you run out of money in the budget, or maybe the mechanics not so good, or maybe you play and you see this game won't be fun for the kids or for the family. Maybe You'll say this just not gonna work. It's very disappointing when you have to abandon a project, especially when you work for a long time. But you'll have to realize too, not everything is worth working if it's not going to be a success in the end.
Now, I don't want to embarrass you too much, but I heard there was this game you started where there was a handsome man who had to go find a beautiful Colombian woman at a dinner party, and he had to marry her and get some.
No, that's not accurate.
Didn't get
No,
pushback
not
on that.
true. You give me in trouble. No, this would be a fun game, though, huh? Yes,
Yeah.
no, it'd be fun, but no,
Okay.
we want to make a game very entertaining for people. We like the game fun for the player. We don't want to be disrespectful of any man or woman, any culture. We want to be sensitive. We don't like a stereotypes. So we try to be fun. We try to make it for the kids and for the whole family. We don't like to do anything going to make anyone
Okay.
upset or anybody angry.
Can you give us an example of a game that you had to cancel very late in the process, close to release, where you?
I have to be careful. I cannot tell you
Okay.
the details of some of these things.
Okay. And how about a game where somebody else started and then handed to you and you took it over and made it a huge hit? Tell us about Pickle Pig. Pickle Pig is one of those that you're the designer of that, right? You took it over and that was just a
Oh, I
huge.
remember the Pickle Pig.
Yep.
Yes, it was a hot mess when I got
Okay.
Ellen. Yes, I remember. I had some spice. Soon the little pig was a big hit.
And so when you first saw that, like you saw it was a mess, what did you?
Ay, Dios mío. The code was a mess. It
Big,
was a
big
mess
mess,
when I
huh?
got it. Yes, it was a
Okay.
big mess. The original, there's many bugs. Very, very difficult to navigate. It was not very clear. There were many misunderstandings in the design. So it was a big deal for me. I took a long time. Look at all of the code, figured out all of the problems. We spend many hours debugging. We factoring the code. We make it more efficient. We make the game much more user friendly. A lot of work for this. In the end, the pig was really happy in the end, though.
I mean, it did. It came out fantastic. How long did it take you to do everything?
Oh, it was many months to get everything working properly. We had the basic framework in place soon, but we had many bugs to work through. We had to tweak many things before everything was perfect.
Did you have the same experience with Garbage Truck? Now, when you took that game over, because that was a way bigger project and it was way further down the road. So, did you have the same kind of?
See, yes, but Garbage Truck was more complex, more difficult than Pickle Pig.
Okay.
There were similar issues, and the original team had good ideas. We used many of those, but the execution was lacking. So I take my team, we work many hours, we roll up our sleeves, we get to work, and with some creativity, we work very hard into the night sometimes, and we made the game a big hit.
What's the first thing you do on a project like that? Do you just look at the code? Do you sit down with developers, projects? Do you play the game or do
If
you?
I can, I always play the game first.
Okay.
Yes, I always play the game first. You have to understand what is the user experiencing. You can always play the game. Sometimes you are not this far, but when you can play the game, this is the most important thing first for me. If I can play the game to see how it will look, what they mean when they design the game. And if you can, then from there, you will look in the code, you will look behind the scenes. Maybe you look to see what all the bugs are, what are the challenges they are facing when they're making this game. You look, maybe you'll get a chance to talk to some of the designers and maybe see what they came up with if you can.
And then you get to decide from there what kind of team you need, developers you need, what kind of people you need.
Exacto. Once you understand the game, you will know what you have to fix. Then you assemble your team. Then you will know how many people you need for the team. You know the scope of the project. You know what skill you need to bring to make the game come to life. Sometimes you need maybe more front end. Sometimes maybe you need more back end. Really depends on the project.
Gotcha. But everybody on your team is full stack, right?
Sí, correcto. I like the full stack. I prefer the full stack developer because they are versatile. They can work with multiple parts, many parts of the same project. I like them. They can be very helpful. They can be very fast paced. They work many years usually in development, so you always want to have the best when you're building a game, and they are good for streamlining the process.
They cost more too, I'm sure, to hire full stack developers.
CS, but they are worth it because they are the best. So I think for the long term, it's worth it for me. I always go for the full stack. I prefer the full stack unless I need someone who is a very good specialist front end. Sometimes you need a UX designer who is designed specifically for something, but the full stack pays off in the end.
I imagine you work with a lot of men in your field and probably a lot of very, very smart men with very high IQs. And they get a little intimidated working around you, around somebody who's so beautiful and so much smarter than they are and has
Now
such
I
a.
blush a little. I thank you. I do work with many very talented, very intelligent people. Some also are very good looking. I don't think
Oh,
the gender or appearance has anything to do. You just want to make great games. We work together to make great games. That's all we care about. We don't look for the gender.
I think you made some news by saying you think some of the developers you work with are pretty hot too. So,
I think you want to get me in trouble. No, I think you want to focus on work and making good games. I don't think the physical appearance should matter. Some people are attractive, some people are not. But in the game, when you're in this profession, everyone is the same. No one cares how you look. It's important what kind of game you can make.
yeah, but if working with attractive people, sometimes it can make it hard to focus on what you're trying to do at work too. So,
See, it's true. Maybe if somebody is good looking, it can be distraction. But I think everybody is very positive, inclusive. I don't think anybody is ever uncomfortable. Everybody feels very comfortable. Everybody likes to work together. We all make very good games.
all right. Well, I'm sure if nothing else, you made a lot of guys in development happy because you think they're hot. So I hope that makes you feel pretty good. And
Thank you. Well, I think it's important to be respectful to everyone.
course.
Again, you treat everyone with respect. You don't want to discourage people. Everyone should be happy when they are working. Everyone should enjoy what they are doing. Everyone should have the same goal.
I hope so. I hope everybody does enjoy it. And Soph, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. I wish you the best of luck out there, okay?
Gracias, Birdman.
Take care now, okay?
Adios, my friend.
There she is, folks.
Thank you for listening to the Junior Birdman Podcast. Be sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell to be alerted when new videos are posted.